I think I'm desensitized to just gnarly stuff now. So when I watch stuff, I, I basically just go, yeah, you know. But then I'll see somebody posting a Slappy clip and just be like, that's amazing.
Is it because it's unique?
I think it's because I've become detached from that style of skateboarding, where now I'm like all about curbs, you know.
Yeah, you are. Because does it feel like it's achievable?
It definitely does. But when you see somebody skate a curb like Ronnie Krieger, the way he skates curbs, so amazing. It and that's unachievable, but I can appreciate that a lot easier than somebody doing a 28 set handrail.
At what point then did your love for curb skating emerge? Was there a change in your approach,
I think
or was it the old age thing that we talk about?
kind of the age thing, but I would I would say I always had a love for curbs because I grew up in that era when slappy grinds were, you know, they were kind of a new thing and they were a progressional point before you could ollie up a gutter or ollie onto a ledge or onto a bench. You started at something curb height. So watching the older guys do slappies, I was like, I need to learn how to do those. And all I ever had back then was frontside and backside 50-50 slappies. And then because I don't include like a board slide as a slappy trick because you're just pivoting onto it. It's not to me.
Why not? You don't class it as a slappy trick.
No, it's just turning onto a board slide. It's, you don't have that impact point where you're forcing the board to do something it doesn't naturally want to do. That to me is a slappy. Just rolling up and then all of a sudden you're on top, you know?
Barging it?
Like barging it, yeah. Like just going. And when you think about a slappy grind, okay, when you know the technique, it makes sense. But if you look at it for the first time, you just it's incomprehensible how a person can not lift anything and just smash into a curb and then end up on top of it grinding. And how cool is the noise?
Yeah, and there's an art form to that barge. You
Yeah.
know, someone that does it well makes it look so seamless and it's almost gentle.
Yeah,
But even me, still, I struggle. Like, it looks like I'm like running into the curb and like fighting it.
but I think that just comes with, and what has happened in, say, the last 5-6 years is skating curbs more than anything. You just refine that technique. Basically, everybody starts with that. It looks like a two-part motion where their front truck goes up and then their back truck. But yeah, more and more so. Now I kind of like almost slide into a frontside slappy.
Like what? Your cess slide
Almost,
up onto it.
almost. It's just I can't distinguish between when the front truck and the back truck get on top. Like if I watch it in slow motion, I go, there it is.
But at the time, it's like a little bit of magic happens in that split second.
Yeah, it's like
Magic just
a
happened.
disconnection from the ground, and all of a sudden you're on top of a curb. It made a noise like it hit something, but you
Yeah.
didn't feel it through your body or anything. You just
Yeah.
all of a sudden on top, just going, oh, how did I get here? I don't know. I don't care. I'm not going to question it.
I mean, I still ollie onto curbs
Yeah.
sometimes.
Well, that's where it all started
I
too.
know.
Yeah, that's where everybody started learning their ledge tricks, right? So you learnt to 50-50 a curb before you learnt to 50-50 a ledge or a bench or anything of any height above curb height. So that's where you refined everything and got the feel for ollieing up, grinding, and then popping off something. And then as your ollie progressed or your flip trick, you could get it higher, naturally progress to larger stuff. But curbs is to me, it's the essence. It's the starting point where everybody was, you know, equal.
It's a foundation.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Do you feel like the re-emergence of that style of skating has created access for people that thought that skating was over for them?
100%. It did for me.
It did for you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Like, I was at that stage where I was losing tricks all the time, and curb skating came along and became popular, or was becoming popular more and more. And it started with the older guys, you know, going, I'm going to do slappies again. And then it just progressed into everybody learning it. But for me, it was one of those things where, like I said, I was losing tricks, and the list of tricks was going down and down and down. Then curb skating came along again, and I just went, okay, this is something I can still progress at. Because when you think about it, the first time around when I started skating curbs was in the 80s. Boards didn't have a nose, they were fat, they weren't as functional as they are today. Truck technology has come a long way. Wheels, you know, everything has changed and made it better. So yeah, now a whole new world of tricks opened up, basically, is what I'm trying to get at. Like with a longer nose, a more responsive board, not taking anything away from people like Tom Knox, like the original Tom Knox, who master curb dancer, right? Master curb dancer, like feeble board slide Smith, like everything.
Ron Kennedy as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like those guys were doing stuff on curbs where that was kind of like, to me, watching that, I was like, oh, wow. Like you can do other, and I recently watched his part again, like Tom Knox's part from
What video?
Speed Freaks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's so good. And it holds up.
It holds up.
It holds up as far as curb skating goes. Like there's a few things in there where you go, come on. Like ollieing into I think, what does he do? Just a blunt stall and then kickflip out.
That's amazing.
Or maybe it's a kickflip to blunt stall. But yeah, it's a stall trick, which you wouldn't really do now. But I did recently, actually.
There's no way ledge skating would be where it's at if it wasn't for curb skating.
No, because that's the progression of it. When you think about it, like transition skating kind of went the opposite way, you know, like everybody skated big vert ramps and then it went down to mini ramps, and you know, like street tricks came into transition that way. But yeah, well,
and then Danny Way and Colin McKay took street tricks to vert.
Yeah, 100%. And the progression of curb skating, well, how it started was John Lucero, you know, in a car park, kicked out of a skate park, and mimicking transition lip tricks like axle stalls and stuff like that on the curbs out the front. Like, how crazy is that? And then the invention of slappies came about from that.
Totally.
Like, yeah, it's just going, that's all skateboarding is really. It's just mimicking the people you like watching, the tricks you think look cool. It's just, we copy each other.
I'm going to test your history knowledge. Is John Lucero credited with doing the first ever slappy?
Yes.
With the magic barge?
The magic barge.
With the magic barge. Interesting.
Yeah, but I think... But Lucero kind of gives credit to Lance.
I think I heard that in an interview once, yeah.
But he does take credit for naming the slappy. So, yeah, I don't know. And then you ask Lance and he says 100% Lucero.
Interesting.
Well, I think something like that, it's probably global.
Yeah.
All at the same time, you know. Skateboarding was so like underground popular, and there were skate parks just about everywhere to some extent of a skate park. So, yeah, I mean, if you can't access transition, then what's out the front of your house? A curb, you know?
Listen, away from the technicalities of curb skating, what else do you like about it in terms of the camaraderie that it brings?
There's, look, that part of it's solid, you know? Like, it's basically, you could go to a curb spot and not even skate and just have a really good time. Everybody there is on the same page. It's a lot of older guys. And then you've got a few younger guys that come join in, you know, just to see what it's all about. And the vibe's always good. It's very supportive.
I noticed.
But there is a little bit of, you know, back and forth competition there, but it's healthy competition.
I kind of feel like it's skateboarding's version of golf. It's very like gentleman. Everyone's always clapping each other. It's a bit slower, you know.
Yeah,
it's a longer session.
It's well.
Long sometimes.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think 2 hours is kind of
Is that the
peak.
cap?
Yeah,
I feel like I can do it longer because I'm not jumping and landing as much. That's what I noticed.
I feel the impact of the curb, continuously slapping and that, like hitting up the curb, does send a vibration through your body.
Yeah. See, I'm no good at it. You said at the start that if a board slide on a curb is not a slappy.
I don't count it as a slappy, no.
Okay, well I turn into no slides on a curb. Is that a slappy?
No.
Because that's what I'll be doing this afternoon, is just a bunch of no slides.
I think...
Are you going to judge me?
No. No, that's fine. That's the great thing. There's no judgment.
So you wouldn't be like, hey man, like, cool no slide, Shan, but still...
I think the more important thing is the riding of the curb.
Okay, check.
So it's like...
What if
anytime somebody says, let's go skate a curb, I'm like, yes, 100%, I'm there. If somebody goes, let's go skate this skate park.
What about the roll on from behind? Is that a slappy?
No, that's a roll on.
Because there's no magic barge. Okay, so we're really,
this is only my definition. I mean,
no,
thousands of people will disagree, I'm sure.
It's good to analyse it.
Yeah, I just think a slappy, there has to be a point of impact with the curb.
And then pop on.
And then end up on top of it, if not that 50-50 style of 50% in, 50% on top, you know?
Yeah, the magic barge is the ollie equivalent. So like if someone rolls off a set of stairs, they didn't ollie those stairs.
No, that's an acid drop.
That's an acid drop.
Yeah.
But if they touch their tail and pop into the air, it's an ollie.
It is an ollie.
Maybe, like now we're analysing this, maybe that, you're okay. It needs to have the magic barge.
Yeah, there has to be some sort of transfer of force.
Okay.
Where it's like, when you hit it, you don't just turn onto it. And that's my main problem. I think some slappy no slides are slappies if you're not lifting and pivoting into it.
Ooh.
Like if you just kind of turn into it.
Well, I got another trick in my repertoire. No slide, and then curb dance into a cooker grind, and then sometimes curb dance back to a no slide, then curb dance to a switch 5-0.
Okay,
so talk to me. What am I doing? Am I slapping?
Already you're ruling.
Oh, yes. So you're not going to go, no, that's the poor man's...
No, that's ruling.
You're not going to say it's poor man's slappy.
That's ruling, 100%.
Because I didn't magic barge on. I cheated getting on.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Now it doesn't matter because you're curb dancing.
Curb dancing's okay. See, this is so
curb dancing's solid.
Dude, I love this.
I love
Can
combos.
you write an article about, like, you know how you wrote an article recently for me that is going to be published soon, so keep an eye out for it, but you wrote an article about the do's and don'ts of DIY, which I loved, by the way.
Yeah.
Could you write one on the do's and don'ts of curb skating? Have you already done it?
I think it'd be controversial.
Good. The people need to know.
I think you get a lot of hate mail. Just redirect it to me.
I kind of feel like, given the state of the world, it's pretty low on the levels of controversy.
No, but people care so much about stuff like that. Like
It's an underground cult.
everybody has to have something that is important to them. So if you can find something like that you're passionate about, instead of going crazy, yelling your opinion or your religious views or something like that to a world that doesn't necessarily want to hear it, just because you have a platform, being social media, doesn't mean you need to use it. It's like, it drives me crazy sometimes. So I would much rather people argue about what is a slappy and what isn't a slappy. As we all know now, it's not pivoting onto something. That's not a slappy. Go on, hit me up. But
You're ready to take them on.
I would rather that than, read someone just being on about an opinion that should be a private opinion, if not in conversation with close friends, or if you wouldn't say it at a bus stop, why would you put it out there for,
I mean, this is the big thing. This has been the big thing since the advent of communication online. It's just like, you wouldn't say it to their face, but you happily will type it alone in your bedroom.
Yeah. It's just people.
It's that disconnect, and that's why you and I have been talking on the phone a lot recently. And we text every now and then to line up the call, but like I try to only let text message communication go 2 or 3 times before I'm just going to call you.
Yeah.
Because so much can be lost in translation, and people forget that communication extends beyond verbal. It goes massively into body language,
100%.
expression, facial gestures.
Yeah.
Even just like aura.
Yeah,
and that's all missed.
I think I started that article we were just talking about, the DIY article, with words are stupid.
I love that.
They are.
Not entirely.
Here's an example.
You said words are dumb. Whatever, same thing.
Yeah. Here's an example. Define irony.
It's when the literal meaning is different to the contextual meaning.
Okay, but
Tried. I don't know. That's hard, dude.
Couldn't that also be sarcasm?
Oh, yeah. Tricky.
Yeah. So, I mean, a word like irony, it has so much to do with context. It can be visual. It can be written. It can be a thought, Like, that's why words, no matter how many words are in the dictionary, there's always going to be trouble explaining how you feel about something. Like, the words will never do a feeling justice.
Oh, amen.
That's the way I feel about it anyway.
I love this.
And I just said it in words. That's the way I feel in words, which are dumb.
Yeah, but like, for those of you listening in this audio-only podcast, you can't see the sincerity on Damo's face. I see it in your eyes.
Thanks, man. I try and be sincere, or at least honest about what I'm thinking.
What matters to you beyond skateboarding?
At the moment, sobriety, mental health, working on that a lot. In my own way, just exploring and cherry picking a lot of sort of different techniques and stuff. Friendships.
Okay.
I don't have a lot of friends. Like, I have a handful of friends, but all of those friends are like so important to me that I think, and that's very much a key to happiness.
So
or searching for happiness.
sobriety, mental health, friendships, like not money and fame.
No. Money, I've never been money orientated. Honestly couldn't give a fuck. I know I need to make it because there's a roof and that has to stay there. And, you know, I need to eat. Like, yeah, I need to pay for skateboards because I don't get them for free. So, yeah.
Not
But-
now. You will after this podcast.
Well, actually, I lie.
You'll be getting some of those heroin boards.
I'm
eggs.
actually lying because sitting behind you, I just saw behind you is a stack of Death Breath skateboards
I noticed that.
that Chris has sent me. I think I've only paid for one. Like, yeah.
He's hooking you up.
Yeah, he's helping me out. Like, I just spoke to him about some. Basically, that came about. I just got in contact with him. Actually, he got in contact with me because we were doing a curb jam.
Gotcha.
And he was like, I'd love to give you a board that you can give away as a prize or whatever. So, yeah. And then from there, we developed a relationship where I was wondering, because he does those custom boards, so I was just really wondering, like, what was possible in the mold that he had and, you know, shape-wise. And I got to do some design tweaks and stuff, which I'm really super happy with, you know? And that the fact that he's like a one-man DIY dude is like, it's magic, man. Like that, dealing with someone like that, who I know is just like hands-on every part of it, like screens the boards himself, all the veneers, presses all the veneers, cuts, trims, drills, like everything, all himself, is like, that's awesome to me. And if he wasn't so generous with boards with me, I'd be buying them off him.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's pure passion, hey?
Yeah, guys like that I'm always stoked on and try and support as much as possible. It's like the little guy skate shop, you know? Yeah, people just doing it, not so much. And, you know, he's not making money on these boards. There's no way. With the cost of a veneer, yeah.
I think if you're breaking even doing your passions, like that's a win,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
Because it
even
keeps you going.
even if you're not putting all that much money into your passions, like that's a win.
Yeah, if your passions aren't sending you bankrupt, it's a win.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I get it, man. Far out.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, Chris has been really generous that way. So yeah, I do get boards for free. I've lost my train of thought. I think you'll find this, Shan, is that my train of thought, it's like all the carriages, they're not connected properly, and there's a lot of deviating tracks coming off there.
Have you been like that since a kid?
Yeah.
Since a child?
Yeah.
How was it identified? By yourself or by others?
Always by me. I spent a lot of, because, okay, first of all, only child. So, and then so I wasn't born in Australia, born in New Zealand. So, and then from New Zealand, my parents split. My mum and I moved in with my grandmother and grandfather on my mum's side, so her parents. Then my grandfather died. My grandmother sold the house in New Zealand, and we all went to Aruba in the Caribbean, where my grandma's from. So yeah, moved back there till I was like 8 years old.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Is it? I mean, just as you're saying these things, like, isn't it amazing when you take the time to scratch the surface of another person's life?
Man, that's...
And you'll be blown away.
Yeah.
And immediate empathy and understanding emerge.
Yeah.
But most people that I see around these days aren't taking the time to show other humans any interest. So, like, all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, what? New Zealand? Aruba, you know, like
Yeah.
amazing. So, what age were you when you moved to Australia then from there?
I was 8 years old.
8.
Yeah. So
And stayed ever since?
year 3. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now in there somewhere, when we were in Aruba, we spent 6 months in Florida, where my mum has a cousin there. So yeah, spent 6 months there. But yeah, mainly Aruba, and Aruba was amazing. Like starting school there, 3 languages straight off the bat. Like you learn English because it's a tourist island.
Yeah.
Then Papiamento, which is the native
Yeah.
language.
Local language?
Yeah, and then Spanish as well.
Spanish.
Yeah.
So for geographic reference, Aruba's right near Jamaica.
No, it's closer to what would
Mexico.
It's
Caribbean side of
closer
Mexico.
to South America,
Okay.
so it's down a little.
Like Latin
and it's a
America.
speck of an island. But it's so Aruba was settled by the Dutch. So yeah.
I mean, they discovered half the world, really.
Yeah, exactly. But I believe it's still under Dutch rule.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is your grandmother, or did your grandparents stay there, or your grandmother stay there?
No, my grandmother came to see. Here's where it got weird. I don't know why we left there, but my uncle was already living in Australia. So yeah, the 3 of us, actually the 4 of us, because along the way we picked up my grandmother's sister. So the 4 of us came to Australia and yeah, met up with my uncle. And the reason we came to Sydney is my uncle was in Sydney. So yeah.
There you go. That period of time seems quite unsettled.
It was, yeah, very.
Do you remember it well, or is it all a blur?
I remember certain things well, but I do think I have a disconnect on a lot of things, you know? Like, so coming to Australia in that time, starting school where I did, in the eastern suburbs, in Double Bay, so being a affluent suburb, you know, maybe one of Australia's most affluent suburbs. And we came from Aruba, you know, living in a 3-bedroom house near the beach, and yeah. And then there was definite kind of, there was the appearance that we had money, but then you'd move every 6 months and the apartment would get smaller and smaller and more run down and more run down, to a time that fast forward a little bit, and then it was housing commission.
So just to get some clarity, your parents were still together then?
No.
So
no.
you were with your mother?
Yeah, like I didn't know my dad growing up at all.
Do you mind if I ask why?
That was kind of my mum's decision on that, and yeah, I don't know. I think she never spoke about him, and none of the family did really, except my uncle. I remember once my uncle saying, "Your dad was a good man. I don't know how he put up with your mother."
How old were you when you heard that?
I think I was about 13 or 14.
Was there always a sense of wondering about him?
Because
we identify with both our parents to help us identify who we are. So did it feel like a bit of a gap?
Look, my mum did. Oh man. So it's difficult because my mum was obviously mentally ill, because she would just spin tall tales, and I didn't know like what was reality and what wasn't. So it was really difficult for me to try and figure out what was the truth and be like, well, do I want to know this person or don't I? Or you know, like, and then years and years and years later, like it's only been, I think it was 8 years ago, I got in contact with my dad. So yeah, but just in time. He's passed on now, so yeah.
Condolences.
Yeah, it's all good.
Do you mind if I pry a little bit more?
No, go for it.
Was that quite healing meeting him? Did it? I mean, is healing
wasn't
the right word?
It was and it wasn't.
Because there must have been curiosity for you.
At that stage, there was so much separation, and I had had so much going on in my childhood that I hadn't really spent any energy on trying to figure that side out or worrying about it, because there was enough going on without added what could potentially be stress, you know. So it wasn't until a lot later in life, like I said, just not that long ago at all, that I actually really kind of went, okay, maybe there is kind of something missing there, or has always been, that I wouldn't mind figuring out.
You know, you mentioned that sobriety is important to you, which generally indicates that maybe substances were a problem for you.
100%, yeah. And
Without, I guess, without picking you apart too much, do you feel that maybe that disconnect from a male role model, such as a father, was at the core of some of your substance abuse?
some of it, yes.
Okay.
100%,
Okay.
yeah, no doubt.
Thanks for sharing that, man.
Hey, but you know what? I can go, like I didn't have a father figure of any kind, like raised by women, you know. So I didn't have a father figure of any kind, but also what was happening on my mum's side was also like really bizarre and stuff. Like I spent a year in a Red Cross boys home, and then like a couple of years in foster care and stuff, and in and out of foster care, but and that was, so the Red Cross boys home I was just started year 4, so however old you are then, I guess 11, 10? 10, yeah. So about
9, 10,
yeah, 10 to 11, a birthday there and a Christmas. And then it was kind of like in and out of foster care, like I said, and you know, it's just weird. And I couldn't figure it out because nobody would. Back then, I think the culture was you wouldn't discuss with the child what was going on with their life, you know? It's like that, they don't need to know, we're just doing the best we can for them, kind of thing.
But you were curious.
100%.
I love that you brought that up, because I really believe we need to be honest with children.
Yeah.
Because they are trying to figure it out, and you do them no favours.
No, you can't sugarcoat things.
By wrapping them in cotton wool sometimes.
Yeah.
Because they will work it out eventually. And
Yeah, I mean, and that's it. It's wild to think that, because the way I ended up in the boys' home was, so my mum had an accident, and it was with cooking oil, and like she burnt the back of her hand pretty bad. She was in hospital for a while, and I got into some trouble at school. I guess I just wasn't fitting in. Like I had, you know, coming from Aruba, I had a weird accent. It wasn't Caribbean, it wasn't American, it definitely wasn't an Australian or New Zealand accent. So yeah, fitting in was like weird. And I got into some trouble at school trying to fit in, I guess. And the school tried to get in contact with my mum. My grandmother answered, and her English wasn't all that well, and she was old. And then the school went, well, what's going on here? There's nobody at home to sort of supervise this child properly. And got in contact with like some social services like Bernardo's. And yeah, they were basically, well, you know, he can't be at home. He needs proper supervision. And then once you're in the system,
I've heard.
so hard to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many years do you think you're in the foster care system in
Till I
total?
was 15.
So what's your earliest memory of skateboarding?
The beginning of year 4.
That early?
Yeah. So
How'd
I
you come
discovered
across-
skateboarding.
Let's go.
I was like, okay. So just like anybody does, I guess, you just see somebody doing it and you think that person's cool and you like the look of what they're doing. And it was just a dude cruising down the footpath, but he was in Double Bay. I was on the way home from school. I remember it vividly. And he's like riding the footpath and just carving and dipping into driveways. And it's just like sidewalk surfing, you know. But
Yeah.
I looked at it and I couldn't understand how he turned. That was my biggest thing. I was just really curious on how was he turning? And he was in control. Like, it didn't make sense because you look at a skateboard and you go, that's just supposed to go in whatever direction you put it down on the ground. That's the way it travels. I didn't understand the physics of trucks and, you know, like bushings and, yeah.
Captivated?
Yeah, captivated. But, yeah, so I begged for a skateboard. I got one as a combination Christmas and birthday present early in the year. It was after Christmas, but it wasn't, I'm born in March. It wasn't my birthday yet. And then I had that board for, I think, about 6 weeks until I figured out how shit it was. Then I wanted a new board so bad. I was like, I had my eyes on this McGill. I saw a McGill. And I was like, I want that. But then I got whisked away to the Red Cross Boys Home. So then, like directly after starting, I'm in the boys' home and you're not allowed to take anything personal with you. Like all the toys in there and everything. You share everything. You share clothes.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
So, so go back again. You had to leave the skateboard there.
Yeah. Had to leave it at
Even
home.
though it was bought for you.
Yeah.
That would have been hard.
Well, it wasn't. I wasn't allowed to take it to the boys' home.
Oh, excuse me. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it was one of those things. You're just discovering something and you're wondering the possibilities of it, and then you're taken away from it. Not it's taken away from you. You know it's there. It's at the place where you should be, your house. Like, but yeah.
Interesting. Again.
Yeah.
Perspective, things that you would never know. People never know.
Yeah, that's it. And I don't talk about it with people. Like my really close friends, they know all this. Like there's people that I knew from primary school then that were like, you know, one day I'm there and then the next day where's Damo for a year. Like,
Gotcha.
yeah.
That's unsettling, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
When do you think your life started to become more stable? Was there a moment?
Yeah, about, what time is it now?
Since I got here?
Yeah. You're so pro. I think, all right.
Oh, okay, here's a deeper philosophical question.
It's always been up and down. It's always been, like, I think the last 10 years.
I guess when I refer to stability, having the same place to live and the same adult figures in your life constantly, whether that's stable or not, I don't know. But I think a lot of humans have a bit of a misconception about the control they have over their life, and life is generally dynamic and generally unstable and unpredictable.
Yeah, because we have to deal with other humans.
And I think it varies from person to person. There's like a scale, and for some, like you as a young person being moved around and things like that, it was just a little bit more exaggerated.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But that's not to say that a human won't have periods in their life later on. I've been thinking about that a lot lately. Like, I feel that every human suffers in a certain way, but it's spaced out over the course of their life and it's condensed differently. For some, it might be a really specific period of their life, and then others it might just be like spread throughout the whole
I get you.
the whole lifetime. I don't think anyone's immune.
No, and I do think that sort of that early on kind of like trauma or those kind of situations can very much dictate what happens with the rest of a person's life, whether it's a continuation of that because of then the decisions that person makes or doesn't make, you know? So I think the most important thing is at some stage you have to go, well, I'm in control here. I'm in control of what happens with my life, and it can go this way or it can go that way. There's a million possibilities of where your life can go from one second to the next, depending on what decision you make. So you can let that childhood trauma rule your entire life and always use it as a crutch, something to fall back on, to blame.
You must have done that at various stages in your life.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But then I realised that's not the way forward. You don't progress. You don't learn to take the blame when shit's your fault that way, because you've always got that thing in the background that you can just go, well, this happened to me, you know? And
that's why I'm like this, and that's why I behave like that.
Yeah, exactly. But so it's just a matter of taking control, I think, and just making that decision to go, I am not going to let the thing that I can't do a thing about, I can't control what happened then. It's done, and it's done so long ago. I can control the right now, which determines what the tomorrow is, you know?
That's easier said than done, though.
100%. Like, I failed at sobriety 5 times.
Okay.
Like, I tried it and then got it in my head that I've got this under control now. I can start drinking again. I just have a glass of wine with dinner. I just have a couple of beers at the barbecue, you know? Never pans out. I'm not that person. I know that 100%. And even when I am drinking, I know I'm not that person. I know I shouldn't be doing it. So, yeah.
Are you sort of saying like self-will only got you a certain amount of... only got you so far?
I just have to own up. I just have to go, I'm an alcoholic and I can't drink again. I shouldn't drink again. I'm not going to rule out, because I think you set yourself up for being too hard on yourself. I may slip down this path that I'm going, you know? But what do you do when you slip over? You know, what does skateboarding teach us? Get back up.
And you've only failed if you stop trying.
Exactly.
I think that's what a lot of people need to understand if, excuse me, whether they're trying to quit smoking or alcohol, and they keep trying to quit and then they relapse. They think that they go into a sense of shame, and I know I did that for many years, like just basically this narrative like I'm hopeless, I'm useless, I can't do this, I'm not strong enough. And I feel that when you actually stop trying, and you know, just hit, okay, you fail, hit the reset button, start again. And again, I say this all the time, like I think this is what skateboarding has built into me. It doesn't build it into everyone else, because it's like you fall down, get back up, fall down, get back up, fall down, get back up. Don't land it that day, come back another day.
Exactly, and that's...
Fall down, get back up, fall down, get back up, come back another day.
But that come back another day is the most important part.
You reckon?
I think it's easy to get lost in the moment of I have to make it now. And it was like, one of those things for me skating anyway, was I hated walking away from something without making it. But then, I don't know, I guess I got older and more accepting that maybe just today isn't the day. And if I come back tomorrow, come back next week. The thing I'm trying to do, the obstacle, more likely than not, is going to be there, you know? Nobody's taking away that 10 set of stairs. It's going to be there. Come back next week, you hurt. Go home. But yeah, that's a life lesson that, you know, shit'll be there tomorrow. It doesn't matter right now.
But that comes with wisdom too.
Yeah, I get, yeah.
You know,
I mean,
that's
which comes
acquired.
with age a lot of the time. Yeah.
That's what I'm enjoying about being older skater, and I don't say that lightly, because I feel like, old is a dirty word, I think. Anyway, but the lack of ego, and I don't beat myself up if I don't land a trick that day.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it's just not meant to be, or maybe it's not meant to be today. It's been the biggest game changer. But in the past, like you were saying, as a younger person, I was either going to land it or hurt myself.
Yeah.
And that's when I'd stop.
Yeah.
But
do you think
it's not practical.
Do you think you've got a better understanding of how tricks work being older too?
For sure.
Yeah.
And I also think a better understanding of what works better for my body. Like a basic example is like, I'm a heel flipper.
Me too.
I'm not a kick flipper.
Me either.
I just, for some reason, my body does not like to move in that direction. I've got the most mob kick flip you'll ever see.
Yeah.
But heel flips just work.
Yeah. Same.
And so it's like, you know what, I'm going to do what works as opposed to try and force it. So I don't force it as much.
Yeah.
And I think do you find that you're more patient? So I will take the time to really think about a trick and just be patient with it and not get frustrated.
And it comes down to just understanding and going, I know what I did wrong, 100% on it. And the things that you never think about when you're younger, like, okay, don't dip that shoulder. Simple little stuff. Don't put your arm above your head. Like, have that shoulder back. Put your foot slightly forward and point your toe outwards a bit. Like that kind of, like, you don't consider it when you're younger. You just jump in, you see somebody do the trick, or you see it in a video or a picture in a magazine, and you go, I'm going to try that. You have no idea what you're doing. I mean, I guess some people, when they were younger, they did kind of have a bit of understanding like that, but I think that came more from trying to mimic someone's style.
Yeah.
And so having that understanding now, as opposed to when you're younger and you're just going, I'm just going to try it. I'm just going to throw myself down that thing and hope for the best. And then you kind of like, the first time you try something and you get kind of close, or the action just seems right. So you go, I can make this. And then 300 times later, you're getting so far away from the original trick. Like, you are nowhere near it. And you keep going. But as you get older and you understand how to break it down and actually figure out what you're doing wrong. And part of the thing you're doing wrong is repeatedly trying it,
Yeah, or you're programming bad habits.
Yeah, exactly. I like the Huberman podcast, and he talks about, like, when you go to sleep.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, so when you go to sleep is when your brain takes out all the mistakes in that repetitive action, takes out all the mistakes and makes the room for getting it right, So that you come back not only refreshed physically, but your mind is refreshed. Your mindset on that trick might be refreshed, So it comes from sleep. So there's nothing wrong with walking away and coming back another day. In fact, if you look at it like that, it's beneficial.
Interesting, yeah. I love it, because I was thinking that when you were saying it. It's beneficial. And he's like, and he said specifically, that's why you need to go back, because your brain is doing the rewiring while you sleep. It's figuring it out while you sleep.
Yeah. And I think the sad thing for me is because I watched a few years ago, another attempt at sobriety. I watched the Huberman podcast on what alcohol does. And I was really disappointed to hear that the neurological damage that you do with excessive long-term drinking often can't be reversed. So you're rewiring your brain the same way, but in a negative way. And I don't know if I feel the effects of that, but I don't, when it comes to, because I've always had this weird train of thought thing where I can't stay on the one track. So that's always been there. But as far as, I think emotionally, I do feel that the alcohol abuse has definitely changed me emotionally.
Stunted your emotional growth?
I don't know if it stunted it. In some areas, it sent it off the charts, you know? Like, so I never really had much anxiety growing up, but then it just, every year goes by and it was getting heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier. And the depression as well, like the anxiety's going up, my mood's going down. Crazy.
While you were drinking?
While I was drinking, yeah.
Was it when you were, the days after drinking, or was it like when you weren't, because I was finding that I was getting really bad depression the day or the 2 days after drinking.
Yeah.
The next day, not necessarily while I was drunk.
Yeah, look.
And the anxiety too was happening when I was sober, when I wasn't under the influence.
Yeah, well, I'm very much an introvert, so I used alcohol. Well, I told myself I used alcohol to be more social and be able to cope with. I worked in hospitality for many, many years, like a couple of decades, and I was like, okay, I need a couple of drinks to get through a shift. And then you drink afterwards, and you tell yourself whatever, really, when you're feeding addiction, whether you want to admit that you're addicted or not. And it happens to people in different ways. It's not necessarily like drinking every day. It's how you use alcohol or use anything that defines addiction, you know. There is a physical aspect. But I think what is worse is the mental aspect of addiction, where you start using that as your crutch, as, you know, a barrier between you and the real world, or something that, a bulletproof vest that you need to put on to go face whatever the task or a group of people, or,
I guess the insidious nature of alcohol, isn't insidious the word? But it actually works initially in the early days. It actually works.
Yeah.
It would give me relief from the noise in my mind.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
It really did. And then there'd be many times when I'd have a really good night out on alcohol, and then I'd be chasing that good night.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, I loved. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't all bad on alcohol. I had some of the best times ever, and that, to me, is even worse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the dangerous part.
Yeah. Like, I mean, would anybody use, say, heroin, for instance, if they just had a shit time? Yeah. No, it obviously makes you feel good at first.
And then you chase it, and until that becomes the new normal, and it doesn't even feel good. No. Well, you need it to feel normal.
Yeah, yeah. Which is, I mean, that was a bit, and I always knew, you know.
Did you?
Yeah.
Deep down?
Yeah, there's a part of me that just went, you know, that little voice at the back of your head, or you might call it your shadow self, you know? That guy that's trying to get out all the time, because,
Do you think, like, stopping was also indicative of you just getting honest with yourself?
Yeah.
That's hard.
And not only with myself, with friends as well, you know? Like, because I was cancelling shit and just making excuses, and it'd be because I was hungover, or because I wanted to drink, and going to do something, even skating, like I'm mad at myself for the amount of skating I missed because of those days either being really hungover or just not even skating. Yeah, skating, but life events, like, you know, like I could have been having a good time amongst people, but no, I'm sitting by myself with a couple of bottles of wine, you know.
Dude, it's robbed you.
Yeah, well.
Do you feel like it robbed you of your potential in your, I guess, best physical years?
Yeah.
That's how I feel. I'm resentful of
that. I kind of think...
A little bit.
Yeah, to an extent. I didn't really start drinking till I was 20.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I didn't...
That's late.
Yeah.
by Australian cultural standards.
But I wasn't normal. I didn't do anything like that was considered normal. Like I didn't grow up. I didn't play footy. I tried once. I was horrible at it. I couldn't understand the rules because I grew up like very much influenced by America in Aruba, where like so you got gridiron football, you got soccer, and because of the baseball.
I was going to say baseball over there. Yeah.
So yeah, very much those sports, and then you got come to Australia and you got like NRL, and you have to pass back. That didn't make sense to me at all, and I wasn't good at cricket. I couldn't figure out how to bowl. I was like, why can't you just
throw it?
Yeah.
I still think that.
And why can you take a run up?
Yeah.
But yeah, so none of it really made sense. So I was like, I'm just not doing it, because that's the other thing is if I'm not good at something pretty much straight away, or I don't feel like I'm going to progress quickly at it, I just don't do it. I'm just like...
So what, you were good at skateboarding straight away?
I could stand on a skateboard and I could get it to turn, and I learned to tic-tac quickly. So I don't know, in my mind I was good. I was good enough. You know, I fell off a lot, obviously, everybody does, but yeah. But everything else, it's like, no, that's just too hard. I got enough going on. I don't know where I live next week, you know?
Yeah. Listen, we just had a toilet break and I asked you, have you ever gone through periods of resentment towards the thing you love?
Quite honestly, I don't think so. I can't remember a moment where I just don't think you can blame the activity of skateboarding for anything. I mean, I definitely felt like in the early days, like 80s, early to mid 90s, very much sort of that outcast kind of like getting kicked out of spots, people just looking at you like you're scum, that kind of thing. But that's, I kind of also feel like that's what drew me towards it, because like, as I said, like being introverted and that only child, and you know, like, yeah, that's what drew me to skating, going, oh, look, people leave you alone. Like, they don't want to know you.
Like you embrace being an outcast?
A little bit, yeah. I think it just seemed like a cool thing to do because it wasn't the norm, you know? And it definitely, coming from a background of, like, I've always been into art, like drawing and painting and stuff, like from a really early age. It seemed very artistic. The more I learnt about it too, and you got to, it felt like you knew the skater, like the American pros, just through how they were skating, you know, like a glimpse into their personality in what tricks they like, what terrain they like skating, and their style, you know.
And then if you watch that person's video parts over 20, 30 years, you feel like you know them. Did you see that series that was done called, I think it was by the Berricks, called Life on Video?
Yeah.
They did one on Guy Mariano and someone else. And it's like, yeah, like I literally feel like I know Guy Mariano, but I've never met him.
Yeah, that's it. And it's the same me and Nardis. Me and Nardis are old mates. We've just never met, you know.
He doesn't know either.
No, there's a really good thing on YouTube where I think it might be a 2 or 3 parter, where it's just like Nardis's skate career into his graphic design stuff, and you know, like everything, like working for Flint publications and all that kind of stuff. And I watched that, and then from different episodes of the Nine Club and stuff like that, like people talking about interactions with Nardis and all that kind of thing. I feel like I know the dude, you know?
Crazy.
Yeah.
But do you think modern day, world with the advent of YouTube vloggers and influencers, is that mentality now exaggerated because people are just literally putting videos of themselves up daily? People are watching them daily, and so now we live in a society where they think they know these people because of that, and that they don't need to go and meet other people.
I think there's a
Has it gone too far?
I think it has, and I also think that the projection of those people's lives is causing a lot of problem, especially with young people and the way they view themselves. Because it's always, you know, this is so much fun, that's so much fun, I'm just having a good time. It's rarely you see anybody be like truly honest on any of those kind of vlog channels where people are just like, this is my life, how cool is my life? The same with Instagram, you know, like influencers and stuff like that. They just put up the best scenario and fake scenarios and make it look like that's every day of their life, you know? And then they feel like they've got a voice to voice political and everything else because there's a certain amount of people watching them. They have the right to weigh in on every subject.
Yes, right, exactly, like what you said at the start.
Yeah.
Talk to me about your art. When did that journey start?
When I was really young, my grandfather, the house in New Zealand had a rumpus room downstairs, and I was drawing on the walls when I was like 2, and my grandfather got a whole bunch of butcher's paper and just covered the walls in the rumpus room and just let me draw on the walls. And excuse me, ever since then it's always been with me. It's kind of like skating that way, you know. It's part of me. It's just what I do. I do go for periods without picking up a pencil or a paintbrush, but yeah. But I know I can just get back to it. And it's like skating as well. You like your skills, if you're not doing it constantly, drop off. So you can't express what's in your mind as well.
Gotcha.
But the more often you do it, the better you get. And the easier it is to sort of express those things that are going through your backwards head.
I don't know, you seem like someone who's always craving creative endeavours of some kind.
Yeah, 100%.
You do?
Yeah, it's to me that's progression, you know? Like bringing anything into the world that wasn't there before, you know? It's like you have an idea and then you make it happen. How good is that? And the satisfaction that you can get from something so simple, putting something on a piece of paper, you know, like messing around on a set of 3 stairs or a curb or something, like the satisfaction is way beyond like people talk about retail therapy and all that kind of stuff, and then you know you got your substances. The satisfaction from that is so far above, for me anyway, anything like that. Like, I mean, I think I mentioned that I've never cared about money. I understand it's a necessity, but yeah, just give me art, creativity, like anything along that line. If I could eat it, I would, and then I wouldn't need a job anymore. I'd have more time to create that stuff that I can eat, you know.
Like sense of accomplishment as well?
Yeah, I guess. It's always so private. Yeah. And that goes across to skating as well. Like, if I'm trying to learn a trick, I go out skating by myself.
Gotcha.
And more often than not, I'm trying to learn a trick. So I end up skating by myself a lot, and always have. Like, I used to skate in the middle of the night in the city on weekdays, like head out of the house at midnight.
Amazing.
Yeah, come back at 4 in the morning. Yeah.
Didn't want some people to be stoked with though?
No.
Didn't need that?
No, it was never about...
Didn't want someone to see you land that trick?
No, because I moved away from when everything started getting really tech, early 90s, and crop dusting,
Okay.
and wheels started shrinking. It was crop dusting. Every flip trick was like millimeters off the ground.
His wheels were 44 mil.
Yeah. But then the board rotation, nothing was a pop. It was all like, everything looked like a pressure flip to me. And I was like, that is not, I didn't like the aesthetic. And so I never leant in towards that. I just continued down like the things that I like Frankie Hill style skating, you know,
Yeah.
gaps, stair sets, like go fast.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, and then it was far easier to skate alone because there's none of that peer pressure or that feeling of like, oh, now I got to learn, you know, like nollie trays or nollie flip to no slide on the curb. I just wasn't interested.
Just didn't appeal to that style. In modern day, though, when you go skating by yourself, and let's say you've learned a new trick, are you setting up your phone camera
Sometimes.
to capture it?
Sometimes it depends if, you know, like it depends how I'm feeling on the day. Sometimes I just really enjoy just walking away with the memory, and that's it. You know, like that's what we used to do.
Don't need the validation of people by showing them?
Nah,
Okay.
nah.
Okay.
And some tricks I've done and never filmed it, and I've never tried it again.
But I think we grew up in an era too where access to camera equipment, like most of the time, we weren't filming.
No.
Whereas these days, skateboarders are mostly filming.
Where everybody's got a studio
Yeah.
quality camera in their pocket.
And I've succumbed to it a lot because of part of my mindset is that I want to make up for lost time and capture as much of this while I can
And I kind of lean
because I
towards.
miss so much.
I lean toward. I get that, but I do lean towards thinking that I can never. I won't say never, but it is unlikely that I will get tricks that I got when I was between 15 and 22. That was the time when I was just really putting it out there, you know, like going, gaps. Where's a bigger
Going
gap?
for it, yeah.
Yeah, where's a bigger gap? Where's this? Where's that? How can I do that? How can I emulate what I see on the screen of the new video, you know?
And never
like,
documented.
no.
Because, yeah, like I often think about, like, oh, I did so much stuff that was never seen. And, like, I feel sometimes a bit of, not regret, maybe remorse. I wish we put more effort into it, filming,
Yeah.
document photos even, I don't even know.
Look, my friend Blake had a video camera. Well, his parents had a video camera. And he's got a little bit of footage from back then. It's mainly like Chatswood Pool, which would have been, I guess,
I remember.
1990.
Wow.
The second pool I skated. So I had experience. So I was like, okay, that's kind of cool that he's got that. And then I think of the other things that I did, like the things that I'm more proud of, like pop shove it's down big gaps that I just thought, I'm not going to make this. And then the next second you're rolling away. Stuff like that. Never thought about, I got to call somebody with a camera or organize something. It's just, I just wanted to do it for the sake of trying it and hopefully making it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, you must have had a few good photos taken of you back in the day.
Yeah, a few.
Yeah, I mean,
But few and far between
few
as
and
well.
far between. But those ones that you do have, do you cherish those?
I don't have them.
Why not? Oh, other people got them.
I was, okay, so I had a bit of a scrapbook, and then the house flooded that I was living in. I was living in Rose Bay, and my apartment was like a basement apartment, and right behind the long wall, which was living room and bedroom, was the stormwater drain. And there was like a heavy storm, and the stormwater drain breached, and water just came under the wall.
No way.
Yeah, like I got home, I was working hospitality, I got home, it was like 2 in the morning, and I'm having trouble opening the door, and I'm like, oh, something's fallen and it's blocking the door from behind. I'm like, no, it's moving. I'm like, oh, what's going on? Go to turn the light on, no electricity. Like, oh, don't know what's going on. My eyes adjust a little bit, and I'm like, what is on the floor? It was like shit out of the stormwater drain, like mud, leaves, like, yeah.
Wow.
And so everything was stored under the bed.
And then it all got ruined and lost.
All got ruined.
Wow.
I mean, like records I'd been collecting, like the sleeves got ruined anyway.
You devastated?
Yeah, a little bit. But then that's the point where I just went, collecting stuff is stupid. Because shit like that can happen and you lose everything. Or there's a fire, or
It's just stuff.
it's just stuff. And like, wouldn't you rather just have the memories? So then it was like, it's not important anymore. Nothing, like, it doesn't matter. The photos, I mean, I like some of the stuff I've done lately, and I'm glad it's saved in the cloud. But, you know, at the end of the day, that printed photos, the negatives, like, it just doesn't matter. I got the memory, and nobody else. Everybody's going to look at a photo and interpret it differently. My memory is mine alone, you know? Like, it's like you can look at a photo and it's a flat two-dimensional thing. And you look at it and just go, okay, he's doing that, down that, put two and two together. But the emotion of it, the actual feeling, the adrenaline, the dopamine, endorphins, like all of that stuff, that's mine and mine alone. Nobody can ever share that, you know? So yeah, I don't care about stuff.
I love this. I love this.
And that comes from being poor as well, like not having stuff, you know?
You would have cared about money and stuff when you were younger, in some times.
Oh, I cared about money enough to... So me and a friend, Elliot, used to go knocking on doors when we were young around the neighbourhood, around the affluent neighbourhood, like around Double Bay and Bellevue Hill, and
Amazing.
knock on doors and be like, any odd jobs? Like, we'll rake, we'll clean your car, you know, this and that. We'd do that Saturday morning and then head up to the skate shop, the surf shop at Bondi Junction.
Surfection. No.
Before it was Surf Action. So it was owned by, I'm sure the guy's name was Vic. I could be wrong, but it was always a surf shop there, as far as I knew anyway. And he had boards in there, and then Chris bought it, and it became Surf Action, and became a lot more of, you know, a skate shop as well as a surf shop. It was like skate and surf, not just like there are some skateboards in this surf shop. But yeah, we'd just make that money and just, you know, head up to the skate shop, and we were like,
Easy come, easy go.
yeah, we were young, and walking in there was like $100 each, you know, because people in affluent neighborhoods, you wash their cars, they're throwing us a 20, 30 bucks, 40 sometimes for washing their car. We're just little kids, like, just going,
Pick the right neighbourhood.
we're rich.
Nice. That flooding, was that on O'Sullivan Road in Rose Bay?
It was on New South Head.
Okay.
Old South Head, I should say.
Old South Head.
Old South Head.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's close.
At the bottom of Old South Head?
Yeah, so,
Bondi end?
yeah, the golf course end. I wish I could remember the cross street. It's about 2 blocks from where you turn to go into Bondi, from that service station there.
I know it, yeah.
Yeah.
Just thinking. Just wondering, because I thought that's near the golf course.
Yeah.
Thought maybe it had something to do with that. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. Man, this is really interesting. Like, because I grew up with no money as well, you know, and but I've had to learn my lessons with it, because then, conversely, I chased money for a long time.
Yeah.
Because I was so scared of not having it again.
Yeah, yeah.
But you said you didn't really go through that. Or is this a new thing, the whole money doesn't matter thing?
No, that's always been in me.
It's always been in you.
I think I guess I could use it as an excuse for not having money. Like, oh, I'm broke, but it's by choice. Yeah. But I always had a job and stuff, you know. Like I always did shit to earn money.
Like you made your way. You paid your way.
I paid my rent most of the time growing up, you know. A couple of times like couldn't.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it always worked. It's just I never had that I need to build up a bank account, and it's come around to bite me on the ass now. Like I recently just had a lower back injury, or the reoccurrence of a lower back ongoing injury.
Yeah.
And yeah, just being on my ass for 2.5 months or something like that, not being able to work, not being able to skate, not being able to, and that fucks with your mental health as well. But financially, I was like, fuck, I'm just living on my credit card and just going, yeah, every couple of weeks paying rent on my credit card going, it's actually costing me more than the rent is because there's going to be interest. Yeah. And my groceries are costing me more. They're already too expensive.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, it's fine.
Well,
you get back to work. Even if you can't do that job, you'll be able to do another job. You've always been able to do a job. It's fine.
And money comes and goes, but time.
That's it.
Time is finite.
What's that saying? It's anything lost can be found again except for time.
Yes, sir. Yeah. People forget that, and they're selling their time for not much money.
Yeah.
What do you do to make money though these days when you work?
I work for Revolution Action Sports Concepts for Shan, Serena, one of the best people on this planet.
Building possibly the best skate parks ever.
Building, maintaining, and fixing. Well, I think probably the fixing is my favourite part. Like I do like a brand new skate park, but I get more of a feeling of accomplishment from a restoration or a repair, especially if it comes up really nice. You know, you give something old in your life.
So it's concreting and rendering.
Concrete. Well,
what do you call it?
Not so much.
Do you call it rendering? I don't know.
No, it's
when you fix coping, for example, concrete coping. What do you call that?
Well,
rendering.
Replacing. Like it depends. It depends on what.
Say if it's got chips in it and stuff, and you're filling the holes with a bit of slurry.
No, you're going to use an epoxy product for that.
Okay.
Without giving away too much methodology.
I don't know shit, man.
Yeah, so you're basically filling it in with an epoxy product, and then you use a diamond cup wheel on your angle grinder to cut that product back, because you always put in high and take it off to match the surface height and stuff like that. So I've learned so much off Shane in the last, I don't even know how long I've worked for Shane, maybe 6 years. And, methodology, techniques, with tools, like what products to use for what, and this and that and the other. It's a world out there,
Oh, it's an art form, man.
Yeah, well, a good restoration, can run into big money as well. So you got to get it right, because you don't want to go back and fix what you've fixed. So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
And also, I guess, I'm sure Shane would want a good reputation for being a reputable company, which they have got.
Yeah, which Revolution has. I mean, as far as restorations, go that I'm aware of, like Shane is preferred. Revolution is preferred to a lot of companies. There's a lot of not a lot, but there's a few cowboys out there that have done some dodgy shit when it comes to fixing stuff. So, and Shane, he's like, if it costs this much to do, it costs this much to do it. That's just how much it costs. You know, like he's not pulling pennies on restoration jobs if the client has agreed to the quote. But yeah, so I think Revolution isn't the cheapest when it comes to a resto, but yeah.
But it's the best quality and it's going to last longer, so then it's going to save money in the long term and all that sort of stuff.
Exactly.
But I know Revolution also builds skate parks from scratch as well.
Yeah, 100%. And that's probably 90% of
And you
the
work on those bigger projects
Yeah.
as well. Predominantly, your role in those projects is what, concreting, finishing, stuff like that?
bit of concreting, the final detailing, so all the
Form work as well?
Or, no,
Okay.
we got Zinger for that. Zinger's
Master?
Zinger and Azza, Zinger. He's basically Shane's lead hand. So when Shane's not there, Zinger's in charge of builds, and he is like the way he works out how to form up stuff is just amazing.
Craft.
Like you think about a skate park and the obstacles in there sometimes, and you're just like, how are you going to form that up? Zinger will come up with a solution in 5 minutes,
Interesting.
and it'll work every time.
Wow.
Yeah,
Did you work on the Old Park project?
yeah.
Man, that must be one of the best skate parks in the world. In
I-
terms of uniqueness.
yeah,
Well,
those-
yeah.
I do like that they incorporated those steel ramps.
Yeah, different.
To sort of as a throwback to the old park, you know, Olds Park, yeah.
Which was just 2 quarter pipes.
Yeah, 2 quarter pipes and that downhill run up, man. I remember the first time I went there, I was like that. And I don't skate parks, and I think it's because I grew up with skate parks like that. You know, like I just go.
Did you ever go to Alloa Bowl?
I did a lot. Yeah,
That's my first ever skate park I'd ever seen with my own eyes.
that was my first concrete thing that I went to. We'd catch a train out from Bondi Junction, maybe Edgecliff. It was on a Saturday or Sunday. I think it was Saturday. It was every 4th train would go to Alloa Station. Otherwise, you go to Hurstville and then
skate over.
Yeah,
So interesting.
yeah. But that thing, yeah. I mean, getting off the train, going across. I want to say Campfield or
Campfield. Well,
Camp Park.
Kemp Park was
Yeah.
Alloa.
Yeah, so the
That's
train
the bowl
station.
was built in Campfield,
Yeah,
and there was a footy field next to it.
yeah. So yeah, you get off the train, and then there'd be a pathway that kind of went around the outside and came to the bowl with the block behind it, that building behind it. Yeah, I remember that really well.
Amazing, dude. I love this history, Sydney history. With the Olds Park, who designed that? It wasn't Revolution. Revolution did the build, right?
Yeah.
Or was it Convict who designed it?
I think it may have been Convict. I don't want to like.
You're not sure?
Yeah, I'm not 100% on it, but yeah, it may have been. Darren's been doing a lot of what we've been doing lately. So if it was Darren, I don't want to say it was Convict if it wasn't. But whoever designed it, it's a great design.
And it's good to hear that from you, because I feel like there's almost like this DIY aspect to it. But it's not a DIY.
No, that's it.
It's got those unique obstacles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that park and Tilapia, as far as like the new street section that Revolution built there, which that was definitely a Convict design. Definitely the most obscure obstacles within a skate park that I've come across anyway. In recent years. And yeah, the Tilapia, I was like, no way they're putting that in. Or we're just doing like a brick wall coming out of a quarter pipe? What? And then like, I think it was Shane's idea. Let's throw some pool coping on the top of that 6-foot brick wall. Like anybody's gonna hit it.
Yeah.
I think Lockie Abbott hit it.
I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
Lucky. It's classic. Hey, listen, I want to hit you with some quick fire questions.
Yeah.
First one. Firstly, when I was young, I always dreamt of a dream session. Going skating, just me, Guy Mariano, and Mark Gonzalez. As a kid, teenager, even 20-plus-year-old, I'm like, that would be my dream session, skating with those two.
Yeah.
Back then. It probably still is. What would be your dream session, and why? And where?
Is there a limit to how many people?
No, there's no rules.
And at
No rules.
At what time? Like at
Era?
what
Yeah,
era?
let's go.
All right. So I'd go
Quick fire.
TG, Nardis.
Tommy Guerrero.
Yep.
Yep.
Nardis, Gond, Justin Kiss, me.
Justin Kiss.
Justin Kiss was a dude from the neighborhood. He grew up in Bellevue Hill.
Right, because I was like,
But he was like my version of Gond.
oh, we've all got him right.
Yeah.
Amazing. Keep going.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, keep going.
And then I guess we would skate the 1988 version of the downstairs of the Double Bay car park.
Nice. What was so good about it?
Double-sided curb, which is still there,
Yeah.
higher on one side than the other.
Ooh.
And it came out into this little island that's where I learnt to Slappy.
Right.
And that island was part of that double-sided curb. So the double-sided curb came out, then had kind of like an island coming out from it. So it was double the height on the other side. So if you got a trick on the curb side, you could then try it on the bigger side. It also had a gap out to the street, which was about, I think, about waist high, but you had to ollie curb high to get over and out. And then it had another garden gap on the other side at the entrance where you drove in. Just good stuff. And night skating there, indoor as well.
Yep.
You know, night skating, spent many a night there. But yeah, I'd love to have that crew there. In where do I want to be? What era do I want to be? I want to be 1990 Damo.
1990 Damo.
Yeah.
We're so similar because, yeah, they always talk about the depression of skateboarding in the early 90s. But that's when me and my crew down in Nowra, that's when we were really into it.
Yeah.
You know, like we really got into it in the baggy pants, small wheel phase, and we endured that.
Yeah.
You know, our passion, because I think around 92, when the release of Blind Video Days came out,
Yeah.
we were so in love with that movie. We we didn't care if skateboarding was popular.
Yeah.
And then on the back of that, Plan B questionable, and it's
Yeah.
like that was it. We are in, all the way in.
For me, I think like eras like that are so cool where skateboarding just dived in popularity and then just made it's like hey guys, I'm still here. But it really separated like skateboarders from people who just rode a skateboard, you know, like because all those people who just rode a skateboard, they dropped off as well. So you're just left with all the people that really loved it and were passionate about it. So I love a dive in skateboarding's popularity. I think it's a great, you know, equalizer.
How do you maintain your sobriety?
Meditation, talking to myself.
Talking to yourself.
Yeah, I talk to myself a lot because I live alone and I am very much an introvert. Well, I call it talking to the cat, but it's to me.
Not communing with other people that may have
I
endured.
I do meetings online.
Okay.
Online format. I don't like the in-person meetings. It's not my thing. So
Fair enough.
yeah, I mean meditation's good, and then you just learn skills. You know.
When you say you meditate, are you praying?
No.
Okay. Is it like a guided meditation?
It can be. I like going. Yeah, it's internal. Just that classic kind of breath focus. And I do a fair bit of like body scanning, which I don't know. It's something I've kind of always done, and I didn't realize it was a meditation technique until I came across it. Like, yeah, we're going to do a body scan today. You know, okay, all right. What is this? And I'm like, I do this all the time.
And it works for you.
Yeah.
Look, I don't want to get too into this, but you have mentioned to me in our conversations that living with depression and anxiety, and I guess maybe a sense of introversion, because it's interesting. Perspective is interesting. A person's perception of themselves is interesting. You keep referring to yourself as an introvert, but that's not what I'm presented with. Personally, I don't see an introvert. I see someone who's very good at communicating.
Yeah, but you
and
know
social.
what? it's just you and me sitting here.
So if it was a group setting, it might be different.
It could, yeah, it definitely would be 100% different.
But look, living with those things, as many do, how are you managing it? Is it purely through maintaining sobriety and that's helping with your mental health, or is it other strategies?
I'm going to say it's 90%.
Okay.
And I'll say it's 90% because you have sober perspective on things. So it's far easier for me to talk myself down from a point where like the anxiety's kind of taking over, and I can talk myself down. I can do a meditation. I can do some breath work and stuff like that to bring myself down. If I'm drinking, no, it just magnifies everything, amplifies, like turns up the volume on that anxiety if I don't get it right then and there. Because, alcohol's a form of medication, right? So self-medication. So if I don't get it there, the anxiety, I'll get it the day after, like you were saying earlier, like a day after that sort of hungover, anxious feeling, that is my worst nightmare.
That was the cycle I was in. It was big night or big weekend, terrible hangover, and then mental hangover, depression, anxiety that would be unbearable for about 3 days. And then what do you know, it's the weekend again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just need to get away from this. And then the alcohol would be there again. And then the cycle continues. Numb for a few days.
Yeah.
Hungover, depressed, anxious for a few days, numb for a few days.
And the thing is,
people live in that cycle, man.
And if you know it's worse when you have a hangover, what do? You just make sure you're not hungover, right? So that if I stop drinking, I'm going to get a hangover. And it's genius when you think of it. If I stay drunk.
Not sustainable though.
No, definitely not. And don't try that at home.
What do you love about slamming on a skateboard?
It literally and figuratively grounds you. It just, whenever you think, I am ripping, it's always right there. Yeah. It's always there just to go, don't get a big head, mate. Here. Here, break some ribs. There you go.
Yeah, I want to talk about like quick worst injuries or ramifications from injuries. What have you had in the past?
Skateboarding?
In general, yeah.
I guess on paper, the worst one, well, not on paper, it just is, I broke my neck.
Did you?
Yeah. And that was, hindsight's a wonderful thing where you go, yeah, that was 100% because of alcohol. I was like doing a I was doing a reverse coffin. So yeah, backwards coffin. So head first.
Down a hill, on your back.
Down a hill, yeah. And basically slammed into a car coming around a corner. Yeah.
Heavy.
And kind of like my neck like bent up and my body having the momentum just kind of crumpled me into the side of the car. And yeah, got up, walked down the road to where we were set up, me and mates having drinks out the front of the pub. We're just taking turns doing stupid coffin tricks down the hill. And then caught a taxi to the hospital and they're like, yeah, you've broken your neck. You need surgery immediately.
So cervical spine, if it's in your neck, I guess, so your head moved forward, your chin sort of came forward to your chest, that sort of break. Oh man, they're dangerous. Dude.
To the point of breaking my collarbone as well heavy. With my chin.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that was like a combination injury basically, but the worst part of it was, a broken neck. So I had to have a spinal fusion, one of those base plate looking things, holding the two vertebrae together. And that was by far the worst, and that was, I reckon that's 15 years ago now, about that.
And you think of, yeah, you look like you're moving okay.
Yeah, it hasn't given
Covered.
me any trouble since, but I mean, my spine's not in great shape. Like I said, I have like lower back issues, and it's largely arthritis, but then I've got dehydrated disc there that they did a micro discectomy on a couple of years ago to trim the bulging part of that disc and clear out the S1 nerve canal, so I wouldn't get like a shooting pain and weakness in my left leg, so I'd be able to skate again. Oh, and work, yeah, of course.
Because like you look like you're in pretty good shape. Like you think that's a byproduct of healthy living or the physical nature of the job you do?
I think it's a byproduct of cheeseburgers. No, I think, yeah, I think there's something to be said for doing physical work to an extent.
Gotcha.
It can't be a forever thing at a certain level. Like I'm feeling it now, like in my 50s, and it's definitely not a forever thing. I don't reckon I've got another 10 years of this. I don't know how long I've got of this, because especially like this back thing, what I've been told is it's going to be an ongoing issue and it will flare up.
Yeah.
So I got to start thinking about the future that allows me to still hop on a board a couple of times a week and have a good time, because that's part of my sanity. It's so much a part of me that it's I don't know who I am without skateboarding.
But do you think you can stay connected with it through projects such as the Sore Losers show?
To an extent, yeah. And that was what that was actually about. That came about, it was when I had that initial lower back injury and I was just out from work and they tried all sorts of shit. So basically I had a few rounds of steroid injections into my spine. That's a real comfortable thing to go through.
Gnarly. I've had them in my ankle.
Yeah.
It's a big needle, that one.
Yeah, like guided, like MRI guided. And they tried all sorts of shit, and then the last resort was the surgery, which fixed it straight away. So, and to me, surgery, give it to me. Just give it to me straight away. I don't care about operations because I know they work. I've had nothing but success with operations. So, but yeah, that's how it came about. Was I had an extended period, I think it came down to 8 months.
Interesting.
Of not being able to work and not being able to skate and wanting to feel still connected somehow. So I kind of, the original idea was I was going to do something like what you're doing, but in person and video for YouTube. And it wasn't necessarily for the sake of anybody watching it. It was more just for the sake of doing it and getting to know people a bit better. Like my first episode was with Andreas, and it's such a dodgy setup, like my old iPhone and then my iPad on another tripod and like some $20 like little lapel mics, lavaliers, and me and him sitting on the couch just chatting, and I learned more about my friend of 20 years in that 2-hour conversation. I was so surprised. Like, I was like, I've known this guy for 20 years. How do I not know about this? And especially the emotional side of how, like events in his life, how he felt emotionally about it as well. Being able to sort of converse that open and honestly, and it's weird, like, why do we have to record it for that kind of conversation to happen? It should be more natural.
I've got a theory.
Yeah, go.
After doing a few of these, the microphones become like, they make you accountable and they make you more measured in what you say.
Yeah.
And that changes the concept, the context of a conversation dramatically, in my opinion. So I think for that reason, it has a really positive impact. It
Yeah.
does. So it could really be a form of therapy that psychologists may or may not already be using. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
But there is something to it. And also, I think when you listen back to yourself, and you might have done this when you interviewed him or other people, is you're actually looking at yourself like in the third person, and you start to pick up on these narratives that you've created that sometimes aren't even necessarily true.
Yeah.
And you have to do a lot of self-reflection.
Yeah.
And it's been a great method for keeping you honest with yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
As well. Have you noticed that as an interviewer, someone who's interviewed, numerous people?
Well, I wouldn't call myself an interview. I'm terrible at it, Jen.
I disagree.
Okay.
I watched some of the one you did with Cameron Markin.
Okay.
I enjoyed it.
He turned that around on me.
What do you mean?
He turned it around and started asking me questions. But you know what? It's kind of perfect because my intention of the whole thing was for it to be a conversation and not an interview, where both parties have input into, there may be somebody leading it, but both parties have equal input, where your classic interview style, with you see celebrities being in. So, what were your feelings when you were on the set with this person? And go, that kind of thing. Like, it doesn't leave itself. That's more promotional stuff. Interviews are promotional. I think conversations are personal.
And they're long form.
Yeah.
And it really gives the person the opportunity to get their point across.
Yeah.
And sort of...
Or try to.
But also it gives them the platform and the time to workshop the idea. So they may have to explain the same thing a few times, and they can do that on a podcast.
Yeah.
So podcasts, they are a bit of an anomaly in terms of, are they an interview or a conversation or a mixture of both? I don't know.
Yeah. I just like the idea of talking to people initially, and then it sort of took...
It's not a very introverted thing to say, Damo.
Well, talking to people one-on-one. Like I said, I'm fine. One-on-one, very small group of people I know well, that's fine. But it is draining. It's always draining. So I feel tired afterwards, It's like the end of a working day. Like Cam Markin, speaking of Cam Markin, he'll work all day and then go skate for 3 hours afterwards. Like, he has youth on his side, I guess. But yeah, just that energy. And I really think, and here's a theory, that it's because he's not holding any part of himself back. He's like very natural, and he is who he is, and this is who I am, and take it or leave it kind of thing. He's not guarding anything at all, any part of his personality. And if you are guarding part of your personality, that takes energy. So if you're kind of holding back and just wanting to be in the background, like, that takes energy.
Interesting
So
point.
you get tired from it, I guess. Like,
Good point. I like that. It's interesting.
you want to hear another theory?
I love theories.
Okay, skateboarding came from scooters.
Whoa.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the ones with the little box cart things.
No.
Like in, band this at the start.
Yeah, well, kind of.
Where they're going down the hill and band. Is it band this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But scooters came from those and were a thing.
Skateboarding came from surfing.
No, it didn't.
It did, didn't it?
No, that's a myth.
Yeah.
Skateboarding...
Do you think it went... Where was the idea then to go sideways? Wasn't
where'd
it?
it come from in the East Coast of America then?
Because they heard about surfing.
Nah.
Scooters.
Skateboarding came from scooters. So if you do a little dive on Google, 1930s scooters.
I'm sure.
It's pretty much what a scooter is today.
I'm short circuiting.
Yeah, but made of steel.
I'm editing this part out.
Yeah, do it. Don't let the truth be heard. But yeah, that was like, it's a theory anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, skateboarding owes a lot to scooters. Like when we go to the scoot park.
I just flinched. I flinched when you said that.
When we go to the scoot park. Yep.
The scoot park.
Scoot park, and also, like when You know, there's people that own
Is that
their
what these things
businesses.
are? Is that what these things are? Like, I wish you didn't open this
No,
Pandora's box.
they're skate parks because they were built as a skateboard.
They wouldn't be there if it wasn't for skaters or skateboarding.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's face it.
But skateboarding wouldn't be a thing without scooters.
Oh, I can't even hear that. This podcast was going so well.
No, but getting back to what you were saying about the box thing, like,
I'll accept the box cart thing, you know.
yeah, so
It's good old-fashioned fun.
that's a scooter, though. In essence, you
I'll
got
accept that.
a plank with
Just
handlebars.
barely.
And here's my theory on that: is that eventually, because those things were just nailed together, the box fell off, and a kid just didn't care, and he just kept riding, and
kid.
then that's where skateboarding properly came from.
Okay, I'll accept that.
Yeah, but scooters were around.
I just want to keep the image that it was just a bunch of surfers who wanted to ride concrete waves.
Nah.
And they got a plank of wood and they stole their sister's roller skates and took the wheels off.
See,
That's what I'm sticking with.
that doesn't match the timeline of both of them.
This is where I'm going to live in ignorance.
That's fine. Look, anybody, and like I said, it's a theory, and I got tons of theories, man. I should write you an article on some of my theories.
I just on a serious note, I love how you write.
Really?
Yep.
I take a lot of inspiration from Dave Carney and Big Brother magazine. Yeah.
It's this combination of like intellectual and funny as shit.
I don't think it's particularly intellectual.
Why you got to put yourself down like that?
I just don't think of it that way. I'm almost intentionally not being intellectual, I think. Or am I? Or is that actually being intellectual if you're intentionally being...
Hemingway, that was his thing. Deceptively simple.
I use a lot of words that don't need to be there.
That's just peacocking, my man.
Yeah.
It's just showing off.
But I can't help it. I write stuff down and I go, but what am I going to take out of that? I kind of like the structure, even though it's kind of like, it's a bit jarring and like the way I write, and it's not, it's kind of the way I think. That's the way shit comes about, and then I reread it and I go, you know what, like you got to move that paragraph to there because that doesn't make sense. But yeah, I got into writing for a bit, but haven't done it for years and years.
You don't have to do it anymore. It's done. Writing's done. You got ChatGPT. You're done. We're all done.
Well, yeah. Oh, man, that's so sad, isn't it?
Do you write an article? Do you proof it through ChatGPT?
No.
Why not?
I use the classic spell grammar check just
Old
on
school.
the computer. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think, look, AI does have advantages. But I don't think everybody should be able to create something with, or they're not creating, have all of their ideas just put out there without going through a creative process that easily. It doesn't, you know, like you put in some commands and then all of a sudden you've got a novel. That's crazy to me. That's not creating.
God, no.
That's having the beginning of an idea and the computer's doing the rest. It's like, yeah. But I think that's going to go too far as well. That's going to be one of those things where it's like, I know in schools, like, it's a problem. Like, how do you know a kid's actually learning anything?
Yeah, look, I'm a high school teacher.
Yeah.
So through close and regular, if you're doing your job very well under a lot of pressure and observing a student and checking work regularly, you start to gauge where they're at ability-wise.
Yeah.
So if they produce something that's extraordinary, that's a telltale sign. There's also other little things about ChatGPT that are kind of like AI-isms, you know, like they use these double semicolons a lot when in ChatGPT, and there's almost like there's a feel to it.
Yeah.
But again, you can't quantify it all the time, especially if they've edited it. But I don't know. It's a pretty loaded discussion, and there's lots of good discussion out there. I think what creeped me out, I listen to a podcast sometimes called the Theo Von podcast, and he interviewed one of the founders of ChatGPT, and Theo asked him if they are able to program AI and the algorithm and stop it from growing too much. And he openly said, no, we have no control over its intellectual development.
Wow.
Did you not hear that? It's
Yeah.
the creepiest shit you'll ever hear.
That is.
And I just kept thinking about Terminator 2.
Yeah.
With Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Come on, man. That was prophetic.
What's it called? Skylink?
Skylink.
Sky.
That Terminator 2 with the robots are taking
that's
over.
the original
Yeah.
system.
Yeah.
Is it Skylink?
Skylink. We've got the same thing. It's called friggin'
Yeah. It's called
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
We're laughing about it. But also another thing too, like the movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix, which was
Yeah.
made by Spike Jonze.
Yeah.
I love you, Spike Jonze. I mean, that movie was really far ahead of its time. Like it was so spot on.
Yeah.
Like a person with this earpiece talking to an AI
Yeah.
and having a relationship with it. And look where we are now. Like
I know.
everyone's got AirPods in.
That's
You know,
scary.
hey Siri, da 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 da. And
Well, because I'm single, shit comes up on Instagram for like a subscription-based AI girlfriend.
oh, is that a thing already? Like, is there an actual?
It's a thing. Like, so
There's a
obviously,
site for it now.
obviously she's on a screen, but yeah, you get a virtual girlfriend that just converses with you, asks you how your day was, you know, like.
I mean, potentially it could alleviate loneliness for a lot of people.
Yeah, it
And-
could also be really dangerous for people because there are people that do need to get out more,
Yeah.
like me.
Yeah.
You know?
What if the internet breaks?
Exactly, your girlfriend's dead. Where's your girlfriend? What are you doing out of the house? She's dead.
It's a hard time to be a young person, especially a single young person. But I want to ask you this to sort of wind it up. What message would you like to send to the new or the next generation of skateboarders?
You know what? Pay attention to yourself more than the outside world. Be who you are and be true to who that person is. If you're trying to suppress something or be too much like someone else and you're like pushing parts of yourself down because of it, it's only going to lead to trouble. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Self-honesty.
Yeah, that's it. And self-analysis, acceptance and confrontation with yourself. You know, like that confrontation is important to call yourself out on your own shit because some people just won't do it for you. And we're quickly becoming very, you know, we want to please everybody in person. Online, no. Happy to argue.
Way
but
safer.
yeah, so pay attention to yourself, basically. Yeah.
I love it, man.
Yeah, because I mean, there's only one you, and you've got to live with that person for the rest of your life. So
Hell yeah, man. That's beautiful, man. It's a great way to end.
Oh, thanks, man.
It's been such a pleasure, and let's go skate some curbs.
Yeah, let's do that. This has been so much fun, man. Thanks for having me, Shan.
Likewise, I'm going to no-slide the shit out of that curb today.
Yeah, not a slappy no slide though.
I can't call it a slappy no-slide.
You just call it. Yeah, you can. You can call it whatever you want. There's no rules.